This is KUGAN CASSIUS for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. We're in Las Vegas. I'm joined by a good friend, Virgil Hunter. We are friends now, aren't we? I can call you that, can't I?
I think so. I mean, we've been through the trenches together now.
Many years.
Yeah, suspect at first, but after doing some background check, turned out to be a pretty good guy.
I haven't done any checks on you, Virgil. You've always been alright.
Just watching you rise up, you know. Still never tell me where your source of money is.
In the back pocket, let's leave it there.
Okay.
I know you're probably sick to death about talking about this. 3 days away from the fight now, but the mindset of Andre currently is, in your not in your opinion, but you know, so
To win. That's the mindset, plain and simple.
yeah.
Yeah, you know, you have to narrow it down. You can't, embrace a whole lot mentally this close to a fight. So you embrace something that's going to allow you to relax, to be loose, to be who you are. And so, you know, we found out just win is the best approach for us.
I mean, I heard you say in the round table there that there's no ill feeling towards Kovalev from Andre's side. And you've pointed out in the build-up, he hasn't said anything that would suggest that. And is that how it is?
That's who he is as an individual. He realizes that we have to fight. So it's no sense in talking about what I'm gonna do to you before the fight. He hasn't done anything other than, we understand the business. You know, a lot of times when you think Kovalev is just put up to it, suggested to, or it might be who he really is. But that shouldn't change who we are as an individual, because there's life after boxing. And I don't think like and dislike is like a faucet where you can turn it on and off. Either you're a liking person or you're a disliking person.
Andre suggested that when asked whether he would approach the fight any different to the first one, he said no. Kovalev's words were, "I need to kick his ass more."
Mm-hmm.
In Kovalev fashion, that is obviously what we'd expect him to say. But tactics-wise, is it the same game plan? Does it need to be the same game plan?
Well, you know what, as I said earlier, you know, we try to look for one thing on offense, one thing on defense. Andre and I have been together so long. He sets the tone, and I observe. But when I observe, I don't watch him, I watch the other guy. So when he comes back to the corner, I never really tell him necessarily what to do. I always tell him what the other guy is trying to do. And that makes it work for us. In that fight, after the second round, of course, strategy wasn't on the table anymore. I had to appeal to that desire that he has to win and let him know that he was free to win, that he wasn't contained in a way, you know, like I could have made a mistake if I said, "Don't let him hit you with the right hand no more. Stay away." That's panic, you see. That's panicking. So he already knew that, you know, you're not going to get that anymore. And he didn't. So I was confident in that. You know, we just needed to win one round at a time to get back into the fight.
How much of this fight is Andre taking because of the fact that there was a proportion of people that didn't believe he won that first fight, and that he needs to put those people, in his words to me in an interview I did with him in London, put them in their place and silence them basically because of their opinion about the first fight. So how much of that is of a reason is the case why he's taking this fight?
He took the fight because he honored the rematch, you know, and he's an honorable man. And, you know, contrary to all the things that people said, and they had their own timeline and time date, you know, when he should do it. And, you know, he's paid the price where he doesn't have to march at their pace or subject himself to the date they think he ought to do it. He's paid his dues to say, you know, when everything lines up right, we'll do the rematch. And he always said that. So they lined it up right, and he did the rematch. He's an honorable man.
Yeah, I mean, that was going to be my next point. He said from quite some time ago that, you know, he wants the rematch. It will happen. And this Saturday is evident of the fact that we have these two, the best in their weight,
Yeah.
Going at it again. So
Yeah.
that's contrary to what you've just said.
Right. Well, if you look at a lot of the media and the, even Kovalev fans, the first word they want to put out there is scared, and it's kind of hilarious because when we came to the light heavyweight division, we never said we need 2 tune-up fights. We went straight for him. So why wouldn't he do the rematch? He wouldn't agree to the rematch clause if he wasn't going to do it. He's never ducked out of any fight. So that, comes from the other side. There's nothing you can do about it. You just stick to your principles and your pace, and it'll get done.
We know Sergey put Andre down in this fight. How concerned are you with the power again going into this fight?
Always preparing to be knocked down. Always preparing to be hurt. I don't care who it is. You have to prepare them. And because it's a reality that, in the ring, it can happen. So he's prepared if he gets knocked down again or whatever. He knows exactly what to do unless he gets hit with something that incapacitates him, And so that kind of narrows it percentage down. He'd have to land that particular punch. If you look at the percentages, he's not a one-punch KR. He's a cumulative puncher, but that doesn't mean he can't do it. And flip of the coin doesn't mean we can't do it. So I think, they should be concerned also.
But is it a good thing that he's already experienced that from Kovalev going into this fight, that he knows what that feels like, what to expect at any given moment, that he already knows that going into this fight because he's already been through that in the first fight? Is that a good thing, you turning that into a positive thing going into the fight?
Always. A knockdown is not a negative thing. It tells a fighter a lot about himself. If you look at the fighters who've been knocked down, came back to win, or came back to win the rematch, it tells you a lot about themselves. Some fighters get knocked down and they just succumb right there. Particularly if you got a guy like Kovalev who's a great finisher. They just concede. If you look at everybody else he knocked down, they conceded. But Andre didn't concede. Unless he's a great actor, it's obvious he's angry. But we're not angry. I'm not mad at him. I'm a Sergey Kovalev fan, like I said before. It's just not this fight. So he hasn't done anything to me or Andre to get angry at. He's just doing what fighters do who lose. He's not the first one who's said all these things. Other fighters have said the same thing. So we understand this is the game. If I can affect you, but he's used to saying these things and spooking the opponent. Everybody else he's threatening, I'm gonna hurt you, he spooked him. But in this case, he's not spooking the opponent. So we don't have any reason to be, have any animosity towards him, anything, because if you stop and think about it, other than him promoting the fight and telling you how he feels personally, just because you don't like me doesn't mean I have to dislike you. Right? That's your hang-up. I'm gonna stay positive. Maybe you might like me after a while. That's what we're here for, right? We have to search ourselves as human beings and say, can I get a person to understand who I am to where they get off this? Because if I ask a solid question, why do you dislike me? Look at his reasons. Oh, he's got his nose up in the air. Like, now you judging who he is as a person, his character. So what you want him to do, walk with his head down? He thinks he's all of that. Does he supposed to think less than that? Tell me, how do you think he's supposed to act? See, that's what my question would be to him. He wouldn't be able to tell me that. How do you think he's supposed to act? Give me an example how you think he should act for you to say he doesn't have his nose in there. See?
Andre suggested at the grand arrivals, just no excuses, and I think that obviously that's a team thing, not just him saying it. Whatever, the outcome on Saturday,
right.
No excuses from
either side.
Yeah.
If I lose, I lost. If I lose, I lost. If you lose, you lost. We've been through this We know what's going on in our career. We know we got a fight. We know we got a referee. We know we got judges. You know, but you can't dispute 3 judges who had it all the same. I mean, that's almost a flawless call. Now, one judge had it disproportionately up for either guy. You can question that. Like in the Alvarez and Mayweather fight, one judge had Alvarez up. I mean, come on, right? I think in the Madonna fight, you know, but you had 2 scores that were indicative of the fight, and then you had another guy. I think that was a split decision. First one, then you had another guy who had Madonna disproportionately winning. I think they had Joshua up against Klitschko, didn't they? That's probably true, though. I mean, early rounds and stuff like that. Klitschko had his moments, but
I think in that situation where the fight there's this decisive finish.
Yeah.
The rest of that gets sometimes overlooked.
That's right.
Yeah.
It don't matter. But I remember looking at the fight and hearing the announcers say who they felt was up. So that's always in the mind of people. Who's up? Who's winning? That's why you hear, if it wasn't for the knockout, he'd have won, right? But that's why we have knockouts. So you can't win.
Did you? I don't suppose you watched any of the boxing in the UK on the weekend.
So I watch it on the weekend.
The weekend just gone with Ryan Burnett, who won a world title. Did you see?
I didn't see that. There's no way we can get it. I guess we can live stream it, but I'm like computer illiterate. I don't know how to do all that stuff.
You probably don't know this. Obviously, you have other plans this week, but the decision was.
I did read about the decision.
Yeah, about the judge who.
By the judge. Yeah.
Who scored.
Yeah.
Scored it to the other guy like.
Yeah. And everybody's like.
118, 108 or something.
He got suspended,
because I haven't heard that actually. Is that?
A couple of judges got suspended. It might have been the Endom fight, I think, in Japan. Yeah, but I did read the article where everybody was like in an uproar.
Well, apparently one of
Eddie Hearn.
What the judge actually asked the photographer after round 2, apparently or allegedly, which fighter is which.
Oh man! And now that's
the photographer. I know the photographer. He doesn't tell lies. So we're going to say that was the case. He said one fighter's called Burnett, one's called Haskins. He said which one's Burnett, which one's Haskins after 2 rounds.
So you're suggesting that every judge now has to take a aptitude test before he gets assigned? I mean, which is which? Wow. I mean, what were you doing last night? Red corner, blue corner. Huh? Wow. Did he mean which one was Eddie's fighter? Yeah, I said it, Eddie.
No, I think he just meant which one was which.
Yeah,
Any updates on Amir Khan?
I saw Amir in France. He came to France to support Yoka. And he says that he's going to be back after Ramadan. So at that point, we'll sit down and, I mean, did he get hurt in this robbery? I heard he was...
Yeah, I mean, I've read a story about that. I don't know the specifics
so I haven't talked
from
to
it.
him. I haven't heard anything else. But the last time I talked to him, he was indicating that he'd be back after Ramadan.
So towards the back end of the year, I'm assuming?
In the Bay Area?
Towards the back end of the year.
Well, Ramadan is over in another week, I believe.
So it could be as early as when do you think?
When he fights, you mean?
Yeah.
Maybe October would be safe to say, and in the early part of the year, and then before Ramadan, maybe step up to when he's out of the top 10 now. They stripped him out of the top 10, I believe. So really, if you stop and look at it, unless things change, Brook would have to be the obvious choice because nobody at the top got to fight him. He's not a mandatory or anything. So that would be the most logical choice and probably the most attractive payday for him.
I know we spoke about this just briefly. It was on the camera, but off my camera. But yeah, in regards to that fight, it still would be a big fight whenever it happened. But probably understand it would have been, I think, a bigger fight maybe.
Yeah, if it was for a belt.
18 months ago with a belt, 2 years ago maybe. But like I said, regardless, it's a fight that people will never get tired of talking about and wondering about. So.
Right. It's a UK fight for sure. Yeah, I don't know how well it'll do on pay-per-view now that you said it, and and Kell Brook being on TV 2 times, having unfortunate accidents, with the world seeing it. I can't speak for anything outside of the UK, but the UK is so special, as fight fans and supporting their fighters, that I'm sure that they'll find 30,000, 20 rooting for Brook and maybe 10 for Amir, and have a lot of interest in the fight, and each one could, get a good payday for their future. They're getting up there now, and they don't know. They have that. They need to start getting the exit strategies together. So, money is the main goal, when it comes towards the last 2-3 years.
Just finally, Virgil, obviously the news just come out that Floyd Mayweather will face Conor McGregor August 26th here in Las Vegas. Your thoughts about that?
I read it. I'm not emotionally attached to it, so to speak. But, I mean, look, I'm happy for any combatant, whether it be boxing, whether it be MMA, Muay Thai, Judo, to make all the sacrifices that you've made over the years, and the toll that it takes on your body, and the fact that you have proven that you're at the very top of the toughest sports in the world, that they're able to go out, ride out a fight that has interest, and it also is generating a lot of money. You can't be mad at it. I'm trying to figure out if we could find a MMA guy and get just half of what they're getting, just split Floyd's. He gets.
Well, Amir said in the past that he would consider MMA.
Yeah. Well, maybe be him.
Is it a mismatch in your opinion?
From what I read, I haven't seen McGregor box anything, but I mean, you're talking about, arguably one of the best fighters ever. But from what I hear, that he does have a punch that if he lands it, it could create some excitement. But there's a difference in the MMA gloves and the boxing glove also. The difference in size and stuff like that, and is he used to that glove? So I just hope his instincts don't kick in and he kicks Floyd in the head or something,
I wonder what the odds are on that. Some sort of
can you imagine
an
that?
MMA maneuver?
Can you imagine they had the Great Wall and all them rushing the ring and
could you say it's impossible to happen? I don't think it's impossible to
burying him under a pile of TFT T-shirts. But no, look, if it sells, then it was the right move, right?
Is it good for boxing though?
It brings interest to boxing.
Remember
when Ali fought the Japanese wrestler? Yeah. A lot of people tuned in. It brings interest because you always have supporters of both sports that saying when you match the two up against the other one's chosen style, that it's always intrigue on who would win. Now, if you flipped it, we've had boxers go to MMA and they've lost each time, and it wasn't just about boxing; it was MMA, and they lost. I think Tony lost, and somebody else lost. Fighting an MMA fighter under their rules. So boxers have already lost under MMA rules. So this time it'll be boxing rules.
August 26th, we shall find out. But,
yeah, you coming?
I should think so.
Well, see, you're supporting
so.
Yeah, you're supporting.
Why not?
Yeah.
Virgil Hunter, thank you very much for talking to IFL TV.
All right, KUGAN.
And
anytime.
Best of luck with this week, and we'll catch up with you soon.
All right.